So I just wanted to let you know that ego death has to be painful. I'm not saying this to discourage you. Like, if you're going through emotional pain or psychological pain right now, that's a good thing. I want to encourage you to take a piece of paper and just write down whatever's coming up. Don't analyze, don't try to formulate beautiful, well-written sentences. Just have a brain dump. Just unfiltered, just whatever comes to your mind, just write it down. Alright, it's not to analyze what's going on and why you are the way you are. It's just so that you can see the crap that is inside of you. Because that's the ego that you're writing down. Your personal history, the things that bother you, everything that's making you emotional, everything that's making you triggered. If you feel like you have been triggered today and you became angry, write about that. Because usually we don't like to do that. We don't want to write it down. We want to protect it. And we want to escape from it. Because writing down what's hurting you emotionally, psychologically, it makes you confront the very thing that you're trying to escape from, right? So the challenge is to actually confront that psychological, emotional pain. So just a little experiment, just write it down. All right? Because that's basically the shadow. Like Carl Jung is calling it the shadow, or the unconscious, or I think Krishnamurti was referring to it as fragments. We are fragmented. Like, we have many different voices. We don't have a whole intelligence that is acting through us. We have many different voices that are battling against each other, right? We're not whole. And Carl Jung says we have shadows. One part of you wants to smoke a cigarette, another part of you says I shouldn't smoke a cigarette, one part of you says I want to eat, another part says I shouldn't eat so much as I should go to the gym, another part feels guilty for not going to the gym. We're fragmented, right? So write this down and see how fucked up you are. And when you're doing this, it is coming to the light, which is basically what meditation is. And meditation is just a total let go, but it's not a let go where you're trying to be tranquilized. You're not forcing yourself to calm down if you're not calm already, right? What you're basically doing in meditation is you let go of all control, you let go of your mind, you let go of your feelings, which means that you don't force your mind to stop, but you simply allow your mind to be whatever it wants to be. You allow your mind to do whatever it wants to do. So when there's a lot of chaos in the mind and there's a lot of emotional feelings in your body, then you simply don't control that, but you let yourself be consumed by it. Basically, you just endure that pain, you endure that chaos, because by doing that you integrate the parts of you that you were suppressing for all these years, right? That's what's happening also when you're writing down. So you want to become whole. And there are parts of your psyche that you're unconsciously suppressing because it's painful. Let's say, for example, you're just sitting down, you don't have a meditation technique, because when you're using a technique, then that just implies that you're not comfortable with yourself without technique, which means that you're still using a technique to suppress something. So don't use a technique, just sit. Then something uncomfortable is arising. Right. Let's say, for example, frustration or confusion. Let's pick frustration. There's just the frustration and some thoughts about the frustration, and yeah, that's there. And then you just stay with it, and you simply allow your mind to be frustrated. You allow your feelings to be painful and tight, right? And you stay with it, and you stay with it, and you stay with it, and you stay with it. And that's already the process of becoming whole, because usually what we're doing is we say, that's not comfortable, that doesn't feel good. There must be a teacher who can tell me how to get rid of that feeling, how to heal it, how to get rid of it in the name of healing. But the truth is that this hurt part is a part of your psyche, right? So by being with it, you are integrating it already. You are looking at the pain, which means that you are shining the light of your consciousness onto the darkness, the very thing that you're always trying to swipe under the carpet. So just being forces you to become whole, because all the shadows that you're always trying to suppress by doing all these methods and by being obsessed with, for example, going to the gym, being obsessed with earning money, just being obsessed with things. By sitting down, you force yourself to become whole, because all the demons, all the shadows, by the way, I don't mean literal demons. There was a huge misunderstanding when I was using this word. Someone thought that I was literally telling you to summon demons. I'm not saying that you should summon demons. When you're just being, right? You will be confronted with your wholeness, which means pure consciousness is there. All of your feelings are there. All of your thoughts are there. The beautiful ones, the bad ones, the negative ones, the ugly ones. Everything will be there. And it will not always be comfortable. And that's the goal. That's not the goal to be comfortable. You know, it's not about being comfortable. It's about being with what is. Now, by being with what is, you force yourself to look at yourself, at every part of yourself, at every fragment of, at all the parts of you. And just by being there, there's a process that's happening that I cannot really explain, but it's almost as if all the fragments, all the pain, even though it's painful, you stay there, and all the fragments, they kind of see each other, understand each other, and then they sort of merge and you become whole again. It's not perfectly accurate. I'm just trying to put it into words, but you can see it for yourself when you're doing it. So don't try to run away. When it's painful, that's a good thing. Because the pain is not in the world. Where are you trying to run? The pain is inside of your psyche. So you have to make peace in your psyche. Wherever you are, the psyche is also there. The hell is within you, right? And then it's uncomfortable, then you say, I want to go somewhere else, and then hell will come with you. So make peace within yourself. How can you make peace within yourself? Look at yourself. It's really important to be honest with yourself too. That's the prerequisite. Many people, that's the ego, by the way. Let's say, for example, the truth about you is that you're insecure. That's a fact. And then, instead of facing that fact and being with the insecurity, you try to be confident. And that is just swiping the insecurity under the carpet. You're now an actor that's pretending to be courageous and confident. The fact is still that you're insecure. So how can you cure that insecurity? It's just by looking at it. But in order to do so, you have to be totally honest with yourself, which is why I'm saying it's a good thing to writing down everything that's coming up unfiltered. And in order to do that, you have to be honest with yourself. Do you have the courage to be totally honest with yourself? Most people, if not all, let's say 99%, they all have anger and jealousy and sadness and hurt feelings and all that. But they don't want to admit that. So if you really want to overcome your ego, you need to be able to admit that first. If you want to be free from that suffering, you need to be able to really watch the suffering and be aware of it, and instead of just saying, I'm trying to meditate this shit away. Just, So, admit to yourself what's actually going on inside of you. So you can become aware of it. So the fragments can become aware of each other. There's no eye looking at fragments, all the fragments are acting through you. That's why you're constantly changing mood. That your mood and what you want, and all of a sudden you want this and then you want this. And then there will be peace because there is no longer confusion. Confusion is what's creating the suffering. And as long as there are many voices inside of you that are talking and they all want something else, there must be confusion because there's like many different groups of voices that are like fighting against each other. And that's the confusion. And that's the thing, that's the wound, that's the hurt feeling in your chest. And when you can sit with all that, without trying to improve yourself, without trying to act as if you are healed even though you're not, but really stay with the truth of who you are right now as a psychological entity, then the wholeness of your psyche can recognize itself and become whole by understanding itself. And then there is no confusion. There is clarity, and therefore clarity implies that you're whole and holy. So what I'm saying basically is be honest with yourself about yourself. I challenge you to write down everything that's coming up unfiltered so that you can see the crap inside of you. Then sit down or lay down, don't control anything, and simply watch what's coming up and see what happens when you're doing this. You will become whole. You will see that there's a transformation happening.